Hey guys, welcome back. Check this out. This is something that I just recently picked up here. Some of you may recognize the name Packard Bell. They were big in the home computers back in the day. This one happens to be a Multimedia S606, has a 233 megahertz Pentium with MMX, a 4.3 gigabyte hard drive, 32 megs of RAM, a 56 kilobyte modem, and a 20 speed CD-ROM, and it's loaded with a power pack. This thing looks to be in really good shape. Of course, it came with Windows 95, and it even came with the keyboard. This monitor isn't Packard Bell. I don't recall what brand this is. This came with it too. Not sure if this even works or not. So I'm not sure if the computer even works. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get everything set up and see if this thing works or not. Okay, so we got power on everything through a gaggle of cables. I guess we should go ahead and turn the monitor on first. Okay, I hear noise. Oh, monitor's making some noise. It sounds like cracking glass though. Now this thing you can hear is booting up. I mean, it's reading the hard drive. But this monitor though, yeah, keeps making weird noises, but nothing's coming on the screen. So let's try a different monitor here. Okay, let's use a known good working monitor. It sounds pretty promising here. And there we go. All right. I'll stand off to the side and block the glare on there. Starting Windows 95. That's a shame that the CRT monitor didn't work, but yeah, that was just a bonus picking that up. Yeah, I'll skip that. And there we have it, Windows 95. Alright, looks like it's got a crystal sound card that doesn't have drivers installed for it. S3 video. I haven't even looked in the back yet, but I believe that's from, I'm trying to remember where I plugged the monitor in. I believe that's just an onboard, right on the motherboard graphics chip. And this does have a USB port in the back too, which I thought was pretty amazing. Alright, let's go ahead and shut it down and take a look inside. Alright, before we take it apart, let's take a look around this thing. You can see there's a mark on there that will probably come off. Nothing appears to be cracked or broken. On this side here you can see, you know, some scuff marks. And we'll see what we can do about cleaning those up. Around the back, that's I always found pretty interesting. You know, molded into the plastic. There's like a part over the power supply that's actually molded into the plastic. You can see there's the add-on sound card. So it does have onboard video here, and even a USB port. So this most likely has just like a riser card in here that you can add other cards into. But we're going to open it up and take a better look at it here. Alright, so it appears this one opens up from the bottom. Probably take these screws out, these panels probably pull up and off. You can see the rubber feet on here. You know, the glue's gotten soft. That one moved. That one's alright. That one's missing, and this one's missing. So we'll have to get some new rubber feet for it. Alright, so I imagine this probably pops straight up. Yep. There we go. The other thing here, you can see it's got this nice layout in here of the board with all your jumpers and shit. And the bottom tray really doesn't have too much dust on it. It looks like all dead bugs and some small dust bunnies. Alright, here's an add-on sound card. And a little hard drive. CPU. Let me lay this down so we get a better look in here. There you go. ISA sound card. Extra feet. That looks exactly like what the feet look like. Alright, and here is our riser card. It's even got 2 PCI slots. gaggle going on here. Everything's tied up really nice though, so that's nice to see. I don't think any of these power connections here have been unhooked since this thing was built in 1998. There's our power to the motherboard there. PS1, PS2. Got a MMX connector adapter for the CPU fan. Alright, let's see if I can figure out how this power supply comes out of here. The thing is, this case doesn't look like it has a whole lot of yellowing until you get to the back of it. When you look at the back, you can see there's quite a bit of yellowing going on in certain areas. So imagine the back of this was probably caught some sun. What you gotta be careful about in these old cases is these edges here. Some of these can be razor sharp, man. They'll slice you down to the bone. You always gotta be mindful of that. Okay, this power supply should come out. We've got another cable that goes up to the front here to the power button. So that's kind of interesting. Alright, I may have to disassemble a little bit more before I can get to it. Okay. The hard drive in its cage there. How old school that looks. Okay. I'm not so sure that this just unplugs. So let's just try and get some more parts off of here. Let's save that for last. Let's pop out this RAM. Pretty interesting, huh? When was the last time you saw a RAM that looked like that? Alright, and the CPU. Let's see if we can pop our cooler off of here. These things are always a real pain in my ass. There we go. Gotta be really careful with these because you don't want to break off the plastic part on the socket that this hooks onto. And yeah, they do like to break off. There we go. Alright, there's our cooler. Looks like it's still got the original thermal paste on there. It's solid. I can't even scratch it. Alright, there's a socket 7 Pentium MMX. 2.8 volts. 233. That's pretty cool. Haven't seen one of those in forever. Alright. So how far I am from getting this board out. Alright, this is interesting for your power LED, hard drive LED and all that. You have these two connectors that go up to this connector that plug into this connector. So yeah, that's interesting as well. Alright, I don't think there's anything else holding us back here. Alright, this thing still seems to be stuck down here. There we go. I think it's just heavier than I was expecting. Oh, there we go. That was convenient. Got taking the motherboard out on the whole tray here. Yeah, it seems like it's stuck right there on that standoff. Take a good look at this board here. Look at all the capacitors on there. Not that there's many, but I mean, we do want to look at these, make sure nothing's bulging or blowing up on us here. And these actually all look really good. This board looks really clean. Assembled in USA. See a little bit of dust around the CPU here. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, this thing is nice. A nice clean board. Alright, set this aside. And let's work on this front cover here. Alright, so after digging around in there and looking, I finally realized that under here were two screws that were screwing this in, which I didn't see at first, so it screws it right into there. So we got this off, we're going to be able to get this all cleaned up. So now, I think we can get our back cover off. So I'll find the other tab here. Alright, there's our back cover. And you can see, you know, this has got some yellowing on it. And you can see where there's like a shadow line. That's why I think this was in the sun. The sun was probably coming through. You know, it leaves a shadow line. Now, let me flip this back around. I've got so many screws out of this thing now. Let's flip this back around to the front. Alright, power button. I just take the whole thing out one assembly here. There we go. Yeah, there's your switch, and it looks like these two screws right here have just unscrewed this metal part from switch, but it seems like it was a little bit easier to just take out one screw. Alright, so with that out the way, get our power supply out of here. Or so I hope. Alright, there we go. Alright, take a look at our power supply. A G-Power GP4200B 204 watt power supply. Alright, there's not much left on this case here. I really mainly just want to get the plastic parts off of this. This right here I can just clean up with with a blower, some compressed air and a brush, and that'll get this part cleaned up nice. All these other panels though, I want to try to wash down, get the scuffs, and try and get some of the yellowing off of them and stuff, and it's much easier if it's not on here. So I think I'm going to go through, I'm going to get everything all cleaned up and ready to be reassembled, and then at that point we'll come back and we'll get all our parts back on. Even this may lighten up some. I don't think this is really all that faded, but you see there's like some crap on it, some scuffs on the side. So yeah, we'll get everything cleaned up and we'll come back and get everything put back together. Okay, so one thing I haven't been able to figure out yet is how to get that off of there. It looks like, you know, it kind of got a little bit embedded into the board right there and right there, instead of just like this one. It looks like you can tell it just sits on the standoff there. That one looks like it's part of it anyways has gotten up inside there. It looks like a different standoff actually. If you look close, it looks like there's like a thinner barrel part that goes up inside here. And I'm not gonna try to wrestle it off there. There's no reason to. I mean, there's not a lot of dirt and stuff underneath there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just fasten everything back together as is. Alright, so we got our heatsink and fan all cleaned up. New thermal paste on there, got a ram back in there. And it looks like we're about ready to remount this motherboard. Now we've got everything cleaned and dusted. Alright, just double check the end. Alright, everything looks good. No, it doesn't. There we go. That's more like it. Alright, now we got this part back together. Then we can flip her over and start working from this side now. I'm going to angle this in a way that you guys can see. Alright, so we have PS1, PS2. I'll show you guys. These are keyed. They can only go in one way. You can see there's a key here and a key on the very end. And this lines up with the slots on the power connector on the motherboard here. Alright. And this fan. Get that plugged in a little bit here. Alright, so reset switch, hard drive LED, power LED. Alright, hard drive LED has got the yellow, so that's hard drive on this side. That means this plugs in like that. Nope, I'm backwards. It plugs in like that. And reset switch. Alright, so now we've got that taken care of. Let's get our drives back in here. Alright, so I think right now I'm going to plug these two in. To the optical drive and the floppy drive. Hopefully this plug will reach. Alright. That one's in. Now we got a hard drive that's going to go down here. But we've also got power we need to connect to the fan. So I think, being that we've got splitter on it, I think we'll just use a single one here. And then that can plug into the hard drive. Perfect. And the hard drive in here, while only 4.3 gigabyte, I mean, it was a good drive, so I think we're just going to go ahead and just reuse this. I mean, I can't imagine this is going to be a computer anybody's going to be wanting to store a whole bunch of stuff on. And the drive looks clean. I don't think it's got a whole lot of miles on it either, so that's a bonus as well. Alright, so figure out what to do with some of these cords here. Alright, not a whole lot for cable management in here, obviously, but we'll do what we can. Alright, so we get a riser card back in. Alright, this riser card's got 3 ISA and 2 PCI slots on it. I don't think we had anything PCI in here. All we had was just this sound card here, which was a Crystal Dynamics or Crystal sound card in an ISA slot. So we'll go ahead and get that remounted. Screw. Alright, so CD audio 1 right there. Alright, let's try to tuck this wire up in here nice and neat as well. Alright. We know our power switch is already hooked up. So we just got these few wires here that we need to tidy up. Alright, these are the easy ones. We got our drive cables next, our drive data cables, and those are always a pain in the ass. Alright, so we've got one right here. Let's tuck these out the way. I always be mindful in these cases too about these sharp edges, because man, you can really slice yourself good on those. Alright, so this is the one that goes to our disk drive, and what do we mark here? Second IDE. Alright, secondary IDE is the one along the edge of the board. Which means the other one should be primary. See, that one we can hide pretty good. Alright, so let's go hook up our hard drive now on this primary. No, wait. Yeah, that's right. cleanest way to do this. Alright, so that worked out pretty good. Now just the floppy. Now make sure that you got this on your number 1 pin, this red stripe here. Of course I can't see on this floppy pin which one is the number 1 pin, but I believe it would be up here. Alright, so let's see if we can tuck this one away nice and neatly as well. Alright, I'm going to say it's not too shabby. Alright. We've got our bracket. This is the support for the ISA slot here. And I just need to figure out how to fuck this thing went in here again. That side I've got. Alright, so it's this side. Alright, there we go. Yeah, it wasn't too tough. Some of these older cases, man, they were fun, huh? Alright. Let me look around my parts and see what we got left here. I've got the screws here for the other side, so let me flip this over and reattach our drives on this side. Alright, so I think we've got pretty much everything put back together on here now. So I think we can get our side panels on. Alright, so for feet, I still got 2 of the original feet. And I found something that's the same size in diameter. They're actually hole covers for like where you run a grommet through. It's a plug, a hole plug. It's rubber, and it's the same, almost the same height as these. So I think what we'll do is probably put these in the rear of the machine and put the 2 original feet that we have in the front. I mean, of course they would go like that, but I think that worked. The only problem is I just checked my contact cement and my contact cement shop, so I'm going to have to pick up some new contact cement. So for at the moment, this thing isn't going to get feet, which kind of sucks because you got these screw heads that sit down here, so I'm going to have to be really careful on the counter with it. But I'll just keep it on the rubber mat for now, and yeah, and then we'll pick up some contact cement and we can get our feet on, and then the bottom will be completely wrapped up. And I'll look, maybe when I go to get the contact cement, maybe I can find something a little closer to this than those grommet hole covers, but it'll work in a pinch. Alright, so a couple things that I found in here was the slide wasn't going in and out. The tray wasn't going in and out because it was just hanging up. As soon as I started loosening screws on there, I seen it was a lot easier to come out. And also the reed head wasn't moving back and forth, and it turns out this was actually seized up. I mean, I took the little gear out of here and I could not turn this for nothing. So I finally got it to move, and I got it lubed up with some silicone spray, and yeah, now it moves nice and easy. So once I get this back together, hopefully everything will work as it should on here. So let me get it back together and we'll find out. Alright, so we're looking good now. As you see, we got everything squared away and tidied up in here. The fan has been replaced. I replaced that with a little cooler master because it actually had a plug 3-pin that would connect right to the motherboard here, as opposed to going up to a double MMX connector. And we've got all our drivers sorted for this card here. That was another story. We'll get into that in a little bit here. But as you can see, we've got Windows 95 loaded on it. We have the Packard Bell logo, although this is not an original Packard Bell install, and we'll get more into that too. Alright guys, check it out. We've got it all wrapped up here and ready to go. Welcome to Windows 95. I did just pull off of one of the Packard Bell master CDs the logo here to put on the back. This is not installed from a master CD. That was a whole friggin' nightmare in itself. So I just went and I put an install of a fresh install of Windows 95 on here, OSR2, and drivers were a freaking nightmare on this thing. I've never seen anything so proprietary in my life, but anyways, we did get through it. As you can see, if we go into device manager here, I don't know why we've got like 3 of these on here, but it's showing like this is the this right here is like the game port driver. This is the one off of the master CD, and then this one right here is the one that was off of the driver that I downloaded right from. I just downloaded the Crystal driver for this card, and I'm not sure what, I've got 3 of these, and one of them's got a question mark on it, but everything else works on here. This has a USB port on the back. You can see we got our USB driver installed on there, and we've also got our mass media driver on there. So like I've got a the hell is a 16 gigabyte USB flash drive here. So I can go ahead and I can pop this in. And you can see there it is, it shows up right here. And this is just a bunch of shit that I copied over. Here's a master CD. So this is just a bunch of shit I copied over to it. But yeah, it reads mass storage drives now, which is really cool. We also got, you can probably see here, if I eject this, there's still an issue with the CD-ROM. It reads drives, or reads discs now and everything, but if you don't have a disc in it, it won't eject. It's not, the motor in it doesn't seem to be strong enough to overcome the magnet in there. So it ejects fine when there's a disc in there, because it puts a little more distance between the plate that's on the top and the magnet that's on the bottom. So it'll eject fine, it'll go in fine, it reads fine now. The whole read head thing was seized up before. So, and I think that's just because it was just dried out for so long. I mean, I don't think this thing had been used in forever. So we can go ahead, we can pop an audio CD in here. And as soon as that reads that, we should be able to get some music going here. And this is just some Simpsons.
Hello, baby. It is Apu to whom you are speaking.
I don't want to play too much of that because it's actually BMG, so I'm sure I'll get copyright strike for that shit. So, but anyways, yeah, if I go and let me turn this a little bit here. If I go and I pop it in and I go to eject it without a disc in it, you can hear the motor wants to go, but it just won't eject it. It just can't overcome the, like I said, the magnet that's in there. So if I take a wire and I pop it, now it'll open up. And if I put a disc in there, we'll throw a master CD in there. Whoops, seat it all the way. So now it ejects just fine. So I did download a couple of master CDs, and I did go through and actually found one that's got that has S3 Trio 64 V2 drivers on it, and so I installed it off the master CD, and then I did get that to work. But yeah, we've got sound now. We've got pretty much everything. We got true color 32-bit on here, and 800 by 600. If I go up to, like, this monitor is 1024 by 768, we can't keep 32-bit colors. And if we go, all the way up 1280 by 1024, it drops to 256. So, so yeah, I just leave it there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not that much. To me, anyways, it's not that much fun playing around with Windows 95. Windows 98 I think is much better. And this one, being that it doesn't have a separate graphics card in it, I didn't even try to install any older games to play on it or anything. I just want to get this thing up and running. The thing looks mint. I mean, it still needs a feed on the bottom, but other than that, I mean, look at this thing. This thing looks mint. All the panels, I took all the panels off, and they were not yellowed. They were just discolored from dust, so they cleaned up really good with a mild solution of TSP. And the yellowing is on the back, or I think the back of it was probably facing a window, and it's not bad. It's not a dark yellowing on there. And of course, from when it's yellowed from UV, that's not going to lighten up. But the top, the sides, and the front have absolutely no yellowing whatsoever. And I was able to clean out the floppy disk drive, got that cleaned out, and floppy reads really good. The disk drive reads well. The only issue, like I said, I had to disassemble this entire disk drive, but the only issue with that is the motor just seems a little weak to eject it when you have a disk in there. But other than that, it works great. And I did replace the fan on the CPU. I didn't. I mean, you know, he had a goofy power connector that went into, you know, a Molex splitter. So, and there was a perfectly good header right there on the motherboard. So, I just swapped out. I had an old Cooler Master fan sitting here that still worked good, so I just popped that on there. So, yeah, this thing is good to go now. I'm not sure what I'm going to be working on next. I've got, you know, a couple other Windows 98 computers that I got to get to, and probably play around with a Windows XP one here. But I've also got a mini ITX build for my wife I got to finish up. I had to RMA the motherboard on it, and that should be coming in here in a couple days. So that may be the next video. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about this thing here, or you know, any comments that you want to leave, you know, about this Packard Bell, which I know a lot of people like these and collect them and stuff. Me, not a big fan. I'm not big into a bunch of proprietary bullshit, but you know, that's just me. But yeah, leave them down below, and you know, I'll definitely be interested in taking a look at those. And anyways, you know, if you guys have any experiences with these Packard Bells, you know, let me know what your experience is as well. Alrighty, well, till the next one, I'll see you guys.